So here's the question that we want you to sort of mull over for the rest of this day and in the days that follow. We're going to stand in your perspective to ask this question on your behalf. How can I approach a problem from a solution standpoint? Because as you formulate that question in your mind and you ponder the cleverness with which we have expressed it to you, the answer becomes rather clear to you that you've got a choice. You can be problem-oriented or solution-oriented, and they are different. You can't be solution-oriented at the same time that you're problem-oriented. So the problem will present itself to you as you're aggressively moving through life. In other words, you can't have any exposure to life without seeing some of what you do not want. But the key is not getting all caught up in the problem. And we think the key to understanding this important thing that we're giving you here today really lies in your understanding of your own worth, your own worthiness, your own well-being. Because we've noticed that the thing that makes you become so long-winded and so problem-oriented is you stand in your defensiveness and in your justification. You stand in that place of defending why you should be granted a solution. And we would like, by the end of this workshop today, we would like you to have moved up the emotional scale with us. We would like you to have released enough resistance that your own vibrational attitude has raised to the point that you're in sync with us and in sync with who you are, to the degree that you are so full of your understanding of who you are and what you deserve, your deservability, that you never again feel it necessary to stand in any period of time and defend yourself against anything. We don't see you in the buffet line defending your right to choose the food that you put on your plate, because you don't believe they're challenging you. If you went to a buffet where there was some very officious person back there, like your mother, who thought that they should choose what you put on your plate, you might get a little defensive. But usually you just look at the choices and select what you want. And we want you to understand that that's the way all things are for you. You're looking around this world and you are selecting what you want. And if you would stand in the place of expectancy, I expect that what I want will come to me because I'm deserving of it, because I'm worthy of it, because I understand the laws of the universe. I understand how this all works. I understand who I am. I understand that I am source energy, and that a part of that source energy came forth in this physical body. And I understand that I came to sift and sort and to know what I don't want so that I would know what I do want, because I know that when I know what I do want, it will be given to me, because when I ask, it is given. And that is always true. When you ask, it is always given. But the question that we want to put to you in a way that you will really leave here knowing the answer within yourself. When you ask, it is given, but do you let it in? Do you let it in, or are you still so defensive about your right to have it that you hold yourself in resistance to the very things that you've been asking for? Ordinarily, we start a gathering like this and we say, do you know what you want? And usually people say yes, and there's usually one who grumbles at the question over there. And then we say, are you enjoying the expansion of your own desires? Do you like how life keeps pointing out new things that you want? Do you like how knowing what you don't want causes a rocket of expansion to emanate from you and be captured in your vortex of creation? Do you like the expansion that happens in your experience because of your experience, whether you know that it's happening or not? Do you like knowing that you are expanding because of your life experience? Do you like the feeling of desire? Do you like new desire being born? Do you like the freshness of coming across something new that you would like to experience, or that you would like to know, or that you would like to understand, or that you would like to be? Do you like that in the way you did when you were little? Do you watch the little ones? They just love a new idea. They just love a new something to give their attention to. They just love a new concept for a while. So when we ask you at the beginning of a gathering, do you adore desire that is moving through you? Often you say yes and don't mean it. Often you don't answer it at all because you've never really contemplated it to any degree. But the reason that we ask it is because we like to feel the vibe. We like to take the temperature of that which is you, because in the way you respond to that question, are you enjoying the expanding you that is happening? The reason that that is so important is because it is the true indicator of how close you are coming to accepting the absolute law that you are supposed to feel good and that life is supposed to treat you well. That expectation is what we want to foster within you above all things. If we can convince you that the law of attraction is as it is, if we can convince you or remind you or convince you, because many of you have forgotten that you are source energy in physical bodies, if we can help you to understand that the contrast that you live is causing you to ask on many levels of your being for improvement that the majority of you are not even close to being up to speed with, then you would understand what your emotions are all about. And when you leave a gathering like this, decided that your emotions matter and determined to guide your thoughts in the direction of things that feel better, or just release a thought. Have you ever been in a really good mood and you go somewhere that you're assigned to go, like work or a family reunion or a family holiday of some kind, and so you go not out of inspiration but out of obligation, and then you meet up with someone. Now you were flying high, and then someone said something to you and you really felt the discord of it wash over you. Have you ever had that experience happen and known with everything that you are that you wanted to put yourself as far away from that person as you could for the rest of the party? Has that ever happened to you? You just wanted to put as much space and distance between you and that downer person as you could, because you could feel in that moment you were flying high. Attention to that for just a little bit changed the way you felt. And what we want you to understand is it changed the way you felt because it changed your relationship with who you are. That person affected your focus, and your focus, in other words, that person, and we're going to be very kind about this, lured you away from the vibration of who you really are. Because who you really are is clear-minded. Who you really are loves. Who you really are feels good. And that conversation, better said, your attention to that conversation took you into a different place. Now, in this example, we are sort of giving you the benefit of the doubt and laying a little blame, perhaps, at the negative influence of another. But what we were wanting to do with that analogy is to help you to realize that your own thought can lure you away too. You can have a memory that takes you there. You can even listen to music that reminds you of the day that the person that you loved most in all of the world walked away with someone else. And every time you hear that song, you go right back into the depression that you were in that day. In other words, there are all kinds of touchstones that lift you and touchstones that are downers to you. And what we want to suggest to you is that you must decide that you're going to take control of your vibrational frequency, which means you have to decide where you're going to focus. We don't see any of you sitting in front of your television and not having some mechanism that lets you select what you're watching. You just sit down and someone says, "What's on?" You say, "I don't know." "Well, did you choose it?" "No, it was on when I came in." "Well, do you want to watch it?" "No." "But it is there." There are many things in which you are very selective, and we think it would be a good idea if you cared enough about the way you feel that you started selecting the thoughts that you think.